So since I've always played both World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, I thought that it would be fun to check out the new character creation with World of Warcraft and compare it to the character creation in Final Fantasy XIV, especially for those who have either played one or the other, so you can see what the differences are and if you like the character options. So, here it is. Now, the one for 14 has not changed much except for integrating new races and or new jobs, but the whole process of creating a character is completely different, so we are going to see what that difference is. Firstly, you come to the home screen where you can choose a data center. So in World of Warcraft, you choose your server, but you don't choose it until after you've created your character. With Final Fantasy XIV, it's the first thing that you choose. So, people that are on different data centers cannot play the game with each other, but people who are on different servers within that data center can play with each other. And you can see them all listed here. So my mains are on Aether and Primal, but there's also Japanese data centers, European data centers, and what have you. So I am just going to create a character, so I'll just choose Aether because I'm already on Aether. And then we'll start. Okay, so once you get to this screen, this is your character screen, which shows all of the characters that you have. So same thing with World of Warcraft. If you hit world, it tells you how many characters you have that are on each world, and whether or not it is a preferred server. Now, a preferred server in Final Fantasy XIV gives you extra experience boost. So World of Warcraft has like specific servers that are more for leveling, or at least it used to. But they don't have this type of experience boost. So most of my characters are on Siren, so I will just click new character. Okay, so here we have all of the races, and you can choose whether or not they're male or female. In Final Fantasy XIV, there are two races that are gender locked. So if you look here, the Hrothgar can only be male, and the Viera can only be female. A lot of people are hoping that within the next patches and or the next expansion, which is 6.0, that people are assuming is going to be late 2021, that we will either get the female Hrothgar or the male Viera. So if you look at each of these races, before you even choose one, there's stories over on the left that tell you essentially what type of race it is, where they came from, a little bit of their history, and then you can see base what they look like, male or female. If you choose on a race, so we'll go with this race here, there are two sub-races when you choose the race, and each one has a story of where, again, they're from and a little bit of the history. So what you see here is kind of the basic clan look, essentially, but you can click on each one and change the look completely. So you could choose like a Midlander, how she's kind of more small, petite, and fair skin toned, and you can essentially change her to look like a Highlander, which is bigger in stature, naturally more tan, and is supposed to be more fierce, depending on where they're from. So we're gonna choose a Midlander just because they're first. So a lot of options on the left, and if we went through every single one, this video would be really long. So you can choose the height, and there are different heights for your character. You can choose on certain races the muscle tone as well, and if you want to actually look at what the muscle tone looks like on your character, you can make it so that it has small clothes on. And you can look here, so this is smooth, this is chiseled. You can also change the environment to look at the shading and everything else that you choose as well. You can change the pose too, so it's either standing or unique. And a lot of times, if you choose a job first as well, you can look at what your job clothes would be too. All right. These, and then there's the race clothes. You can also change the bust size, which is a really big deal for me. I always have my character have really big boobs. There's no butt slider, which is what everybody wants to see, so that's like the only option that you can't mess with. So you can change skin tone, and there's all of these different options here. I usually go with something in between, like darker than my skin tone, because I always kind of wished I was tan. And then you have all of these hairstyles as well, and you can look at how they look on your character too. And you can turn your character around to see the whole thing, and again, you can change the environment if you want to change the lighting. And one of the really neat things about the hairstyles in Final Fantasy XIV is because there are so many, you can pin them by right-clicking all of the ones that you like. And then once you've picked a bunch of hairstyles that you really like, there's a box up here that shows only your pinned hairstyles so that you can go back and forth and decide from there which one you like best. So we're going to go with this one for now. And we're going to look at the hair color. So another neat thing in FF14 is you can choose the base hair color, but you can also choose highlights or lowlights. So there's a box here that you can check if you would like highlights, or if you want your character to be, if you want your character's hair not to be dimensional, you can leave it this way, but I always go with highlights. And this is really neat because they have all of these really crazy colors as well. So a lot of people will do like a super neat color. Like I have a Viera who has cotton candy hair. So her base hair color is this like really, really light blue. And then she has light pink highlights. So for this one, we're going to go kind of natural. We'll go with like an auburn type hair color, and then we can look at the low lights. So you can see where the low lights are on this hairstyle are right at the bottom of the haircut here. So we can go really light, which I actually really like that. So this is like white. And then we can go like, you can go like a green color and have it be like watermelon. I don't know what I want to choose for that. I'm like really excited to create a character, and I want to keep this like not super, I like that. The whole thing is just kind of like strawberry. That's actually really pretty. Maybe we'll go a shade lighter with that, and we'll go more of like a peachy color, which I think looks really good. Okay, so you can also choose the different types of faces. So we have this face, this face, this face, this face, and this face. Some of the faces for the races don't change super significantly, but this is like another base thing. So you choose a face that you want to start with, and then you can change the jaw, the eye shape, the eye color, the nose, the mouth, the lip color, facial features, tattoos, face paint. So this is just a base, kind of like a clean slate for you to work with and then develop from here. So my favorite for the here is the last option here. I like how she has more of a pointed nose and full cheeks, and then her chin goes into a point as well, so her face is almost heart-shaped. And then you can change the jaw. And so you can look at it. I really don't like this lighting. Let's go here and see if this lighting is better. No. Maybe this is the best lighting. Yeah, this is the best lighting. Okay, so you can look at the character's face full on, or you can look at the profile to change other things as well. Ours is a little bit different because we have a cut that ends around the jawline, so no matter what, her jaw is going to look very full and pointed. But you have another 4 options here. And if you hover over the options, you can change what the face looks like. And like I said, I like her face as having full cheeks and heart shape, so I'm going to leave it with option 1. And then you can also change eye shape. So if you hover over everything, you can see what the different eye shapes look like. But again, I really like the eye shape that it starts with because her eyes are very wide open, so we're going to leave that as well. You can also change the iris size. This is kind of a big joke from me on stream because I always ask when I'm creating a character if we should have large or small irises, and everybody says you have to have large anime eyes because it's an anime game. So I usually leave it large, but you can look at what they would look like small too. And I think the large looks better, so we're going to do that too. And then the eye color, you have all across the spectrum as well. So we're going to look at what her facial features look like. And we're going to have her eyes kind of like match her hair a little bit. So I actually really like that. I think that's really pretty. You can also have odd eyes with your character. And another thing that you can do is change the limbal ring color. So if you click this option here, you can have odd eyes like Yuna from Final Fantasy X. And obviously it's one eye is one color, the other eye is another color. And then when we get to the next area, you can also have limbal rings. So you can choose whether or not you want a limbal ring, and if you do, you can choose the color as well. So we're gonna do odd eyes. And we're gonna have one of her eyes be the color of her roots, and the other eye be the color of her highlights, which I think is really pretty. So if you look at her from far away, that's what she looks like. All right. So we can also change her eyebrows if we would like. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. That looks worried and that looks angry. I don't like either one of these. I think I like either option 1 or option 3. Option 1 is more full, but option 3 is more clean. I think we're gonna go with option 3. So you can also change the nose. Like I said, you pick a base and then you have like a clean slate to change whatever you'd like to change. So you can look at all of the different noses. And you can also look at them from the side. I like the button nose. All right, then mouths, which you can also change. I'm not a big fan of the here mouths. Is that weird? Maybe it's weird. I'm gonna leave it with option number 1 because I don't like any of the other options for the here. All right, so we can change lip color as well. We're gonna have her lip color match her eyes. And then you can change the facial features too. So you can add extra makeup. You can have like a little beauty spot. You can add a second beauty spot up here for the heres. You can add scars. And you can add extra... Wow, that makes her eyebrows look really, really bad, in my opinion. Because it looks like she's trying to fill in her eyebrows, and it just didn't work. It looks like she has extra hair above where she tried to fill in for her eyebrows. No, no, no. We're gonna take that off. That looks weird. Alright, so you can also choose tattoos on the face. Hers are kind of taken up by her hair, but later on in the game, you can unlock a hairstylist, and there's a full quest line for it instead of in WoW where you just go into the barbershop. So there's this full quest line in Limsa where you unlock the hairstylist, and then you can use like a stylist bell whenever you're in an inn, or if you have the stylist bell in your own house, you can click on it, and there's a bunch of different hairstyles in the game that you can also collect that aren't on the starting screen. So you can change your tattoo color, and you can also do face paint. So not only is there face paint, but you can actually make it look like makeup. And then you can choose the face paint color as well. So you have like, that looks like blush or some kind of rouge. Then there's different like war paint that you can put on her. You can give her freckles. That's actually really cool. I like the war paint. But I'm probably gonna do rouge. So she looks like she has a really cute amount of makeup on. I actually really like that. The red might be a little bit bright though. Maybe we could go with like a nice pink. Yeah. Alright. And then one of the big things for Final Fantasy XIV that you cannot do in WoW at all is you can choose voices. And there are different emotes, because emotes are a big thing in FF14. There are a ridiculous amount. And some of them have to do with voices. Some of them have to do with like something that you're doing physically. But the voices are a really big deal. And you can also change which emote that she's doing for the voice. Voice 2 is actually one of my favorites. Voice 2 and Voice 4. And they're different based on the race that you choose as well. So there's these. I really like that. Okay. So we're going to choose this for our character. I didn't. So another neat thing that you can do in FF14 is you can save your appearance data. So let's say you want to create, have this exact same looking character on another data center. If you save the appearance data, it's kind of like a save slot in the old consoles. You can load appearance data and change it from there. So we're not going to save this one. Okay. So none of these options actually have any effect on your gameplay anymore. So in FF11, and I believe it was in FF14 up until halfway through Heavensward, what year and what calendar day you were born and what deity you chose actually affected gameplay. I'm not exactly sure what it affected, so if anybody does know, please comment on the bottom. But now it doesn't have any effect except if you want to use it for RP purposes, and there is a lot of RP in FF14, so I usually try to match it up to what my actual birthday is just because I think it's fun. So I usually do the first umbral moon and then the 22nd. And then you can choose your deity. And each symbol right here is a different deity, and it gives you a brief history of the deity as well. So they're all different gods and goddesses. I usually choose... Oh my gosh, what is his name? Either Rhalgr, because he's the breaker of worlds and the god of destruction, which I think is fun, or... Nofika, the goddess of abundance. But we're going to go with Rhalgr for destruction. And a lot of people like to attribute it, if they're going to RP, with which job they have, because one of the jobs in the game is a black mage. So it's like darker spells. So like white mage is healing, black mage is damage dealing, and they do a lot of what they call destruction magic, so they would choose Rhalgr for that destruction magic. So, but we're gonna go with Rhalgr because I think it's fun. Okay, so now that you've created your character, you can choose your job, which is comparable to the class in World of Warcraft. Now, there's a bunch of different classes that you can start with. Disciples of War are all physical damage classes, and then Disciples of Magic are obviously all magical damage classes, or healing. And then based on the job that you choose, there is a different starting area. For example, Gladiator is a tank, and it tells you all about what the Gladiator is, and what their role is, and then it tells you at the bottom, you can't see it under my screen, or under my cam, so let me move my cam real quick. At the bottom, it'll tell you what place that you can start in as well. And then down here, right here, you can actually look at what the job clothes are on your character. So you can do race. So this is what she would wear just based on her race, with her little sword, job, and small clothes. So then you could be under job and then do a unique pose as well. So then you can see what all of these are and their starting areas. So like Gladiator, Pugilist start in Ul'dah, Marauder, which is another tank, and Lancer, which is a DPS, Marauder starts in Limsa, Lancer starts in Gridania, and then there's Archer, and then there's Disciples of Magic, like Arcanist, Thaumaturge, which is the black mage I was talking about, and Conjurer, which is the white mage. So now there's one thing that's a little bit different. So in World of Warcraft, when you choose a class, you could choose, let's say, a mage. And once you actually start going through the game, once you get to level 10, you can choose a specialization or a spec. So you would have your mage, and you could be Frostfire or Arcane. And that would be what you would level up with. And then eventually you can do... it used to be that you would go to your class trainer, and you could get dual specialization. So you could be 2 different specs and swap between those 2. And you could change your spec later on at that trainer if you would like. Now, you can choose between all of your specs freely, and you can choose between all of your talents freely. In Final Fantasy XIV, you have a starting job, and then you kind of grow as this job. So you get to level 30, and then your job changes. So Gladiator starts as a Gladiator, but then once you hit level 30, you get a job stone, and you start leveling as a Paladin. So it's like you're growing with your job. So Pugilist starts as a Pugilist, which is just hand-to-hand combat, and you can turn into a monk. Marauder is another tank, and eventually you turn into a warrior. Lancer starts off just as a DPS using a polearm or lance or whatever you want to call it, and eventually ends up as a dragoon. An archer turns into a bard. And then your disciples of magic arcanist, you can either be scholar or summoner, so a healer or a damage dealer. Thaumaturge turns into black mage, and conjurer turns into white mage. And then there are other jobs that you can unlock within the game. The other really big main difference from Final Fantasy XIV than World of Warcraft is that in FF14 you can be every single job on one character. So your starting job that you choose here, you are not locked into. You can unlock everything, and then there are certain jobs that you can unlock for once you get to the content for each expansion. But your main job that you level up has to be a certain level before you can even unlock the other jobs, and they all have quest lines to unlock them as well. But we are going to start with, let's see. We'll start with Lancer, because they look the neatest as a dragoon. And we will... So then here, it just confirms the world that you want to be on. It's setting me on Cactuar. So then you choose a first name and a last name. So in World of Warcraft, you only have one name. In FF14, you have two names. So we'll see if it's taken. It's not. And then it'll send you to the area to be able to start the game. So you would begin a new game with this character. And everything that you've chosen is over here. And that's it. Based on what job you chose, you would start in a different area. And each starting area has a really cool intro as well. Just to keep this video shorter, we're going to end with this portion and not actually look at each starting area, but they have really cool intros, and I don't want to spoil any of it if somebody's a new character. But this is the Final Fantasy XIV character creation. All right, so with World of Warcraft, one of the first things that you do is you choose your realm before creating a character. So I already have characters on Bleeding Hollow. That was my main server. If you click Change Realm, all of the server options come up, as well as how many characters you have on each server. I am an alcoholic, and so I have characters on quite a few, but I will stick with Bleeding Hollow for now. And for World of Warcraft, it doesn't matter what server you choose realistically. You can do certain content with everyone. The only thing that you can't do is Mythic Raiding, which is the highest tier of raiding, and until it opens up, after a certain amount of people have completed the full Mythic Raid, it is server only and only 20 people per team. Once it opens up, it's cross-server, but everything else for the most part is cross-server, and you can play with anyone. You can also play with people at different levels now too. So we would hit Create Character after choosing our realm. So what used to happen was there was a box on the left, and you would choose your faction. So you would choose either Alliance or Horde, and underneath that box it would show each of the races for those, and then once you clicked on one, you could then choose your class. Now, everything is on the same page. So you can see the different Alliance races and the allied races for the Alliance, and it tells you how to unlock them. I don't have any of these unlocked. I have not played in quite some time. And Horde is now on the right instead of choosing each one from the box. So you can see all of the Horde races and the allied races, which the only ones I have unlocked are the Nightborn and the High Mountain Tauren. Everything from here and here starts at level 1, and then anything that is an allied race starts a little bit higher level. Or at least it did. I don't know if it still does with pre-patch, guys. Help me out with this. You can choose male or female at the top, and now your classes are on the bottom, so you do not have to choose a race first. I normally go with Blood Elf, and there are a lot of changes to all of the races, so we will start actually with Trolls. I believe Trolls for the Horde side got the most changes, and I always played a Mage. So what you can see here is class-specific gear, and you can turn on your character as well, and you can see what it would look like. So we're going to start with this and customize. So this is all new. This whole template is new. And it used to be that you would create your character fully, and then at the end it would show your character, and then you would do a name. So now you can choose, there's a little bit more options for skin color, and you can see that there's more depth and lines here for muscle tone. I always went blue, like super, super blue troll. I don't know why, but that was like the big thing, was to have a blue troll when I used to play back in the day with a bunch of people. So, and of course you have your different faces, which now they're just more detailed. And remember, like for a female troll, there was always just one face that everybody chose because it was the only one that was feminine and pretty. But we're gonna stick with a male troll right now. I like this face. And there's still only 5 options. So you can choose the different hairstyles. And in World of Warcraft, you actually go to a barber, and there will be more hairstyle options. These are still pretty much the same. There's just more texture. I like this. That's neat. All right, and hair color. Now, in Final Fantasy XIV, you can choose a hair color with a highlight, and you have more natural hair colors, and the hair looks more natural. Obviously, for World of Warcraft, things are more cartoony, and we just have one solid color, except for this specific hairstyle, there is a low light that changes depending on the hair color that you choose. Actually, I really like this. The green with the purple. You can also change your tusks. And I believe that the tusk being broken is a new thing, so that's cool. I'm going to do that. And you can now change your eye color, which you never used to be able to do. So we're going to go green to match the hair. All right. Now you can do extra additives, so face paint, piercings, face paint color, and things like that. So we're going to check out. Oh, that's cool. Ritual, skull, voodoo, war, prophet, oni, mask, fangs. That's cool too. So you could always choose your face paint before, but now these have more options. And they're just more stylized. I really like that. Okay. Now we have to have the face paint color. See if we can match the hair. Yellow. So it's coming along, and if you click on this, you can actually look at these different ones too. I like that. Okay. And then you can do earrings, ivory, bone. I like the ivory. Rings, studs, and none. I like the ivory. And then you can do the nose piercing as well. None, ring, or bone. I like the bone for everything. Okay. So now you can also choose the body paint on the trolls. So you can't choose skin tone, you can't change the face up too much. Whereas with 14, you had essentially, you picked a base and then you could change the eyes, the eye color, the eyebrows, the face paint, the tattoos. If they had a beauty spot, you could do odd eyes, you could do limbal rings, you could choose a hairstyle, you could choose the texture of the hair, you could choose if you had highlights or lowlights or bangs, the height and the essentially the weight of the character. But for World of Warcraft, this is actually a step up. So we can, the body paint is new. So you can choose the body paint and the body paint color. So it used to be the only thing that had body paint was the Demon Hunter. So this is cool. And I'm weird, so I like everything to match. So there's a couple options. There's none, voodoo, bones, and rituals. So we're going to go voodoo. And I'm going to do that as green to match everything else. Or you could just randomize everything, which is this button. All right, and then now you can choose your starting zone. So that's the new things for the troll. And the orc has the same new additions as well. There's the face paint, so we can look at it. There's the skin color, the face, the hairstyle, the hair color. Orcs also have beards and sideburns. So we could look at the beards as well. Ooh, that's cool. The braid is really neat, and the ringed is really neat as well. Twin braids, like a Nord. Okay, I'm cool with this. We want sideburns. Yes, hanging sideburns that are just as long as our hair. Okay, and we can change the eye color on this as well. Pretty. And if you see here, it looks like they added for the orcs, you can have like the shaman odd eye. So it's not necessarily an odd eye, it's like partially blind, you know, which is actually really cool. Okay. I kind of want partially blind blue. This actually is really striking. All right, so let's look at our skin tone. Now, orcs are usually just different shades of green for the most part. And you can get like a darker tan color, almost blue. See, I like the traditional orcs, so I really like that bold, like foresty green. Okay. And we can change our hairstyle too. So I'm leaving the twin braids because this is cool. So we'll change our hair color and the hairstyle, but the twin braids are cool. All right. This is new. I like that. Razor Barons. Oh, neat. Mane. Okay, no. So I like the razor, and I like blade fist. That's the high knot, which looks very odd in my opinion. The wedge, the wild. So this looks like an undead. Like, you know how you go to that different area where that you can level in Hillsbrad? And there's like the crazy doctor, and you have like the humans that you can shovel out. That's what hairstyle this is. Okay. So long. That's cool. I like that too. Ponytail. They've always had that. Mohawk. They've always had spiked. The tail. Oh, that's cool. I like that too. And braided they've always had, which is what I usually use for a female work. And then nothing, which I actually think looks really cool too. But I'm going to go with the razor because this is cool and it's new. So we're going to go with that. All right, so let's choose our hair color. Ooh, the white looks really good. The silver looks good too. This matches our blind eye. That is so neat. I really like that hair color too. I like the red as well. I think I'm gonna go with this color. I like this a lot. Okay. So now we can do grime. So you can do grime around the mouth or the eyes, which is really kind of cool. I would do it around the eyes because it makes them look more fierce. You can do different scars. Hang on. Let's remove the war paint for now so that we can look at our scars. Okay. So you can do a burn, a cut, a swipe, or none. I like the swipe because it's over the blind eye. That's so cool. Okay. So I have the grime around the eyes. You can change the earrings too. So there's tusks, plugs, okay, the spikes are really cool. Upper. Okay, I like the spikes. And you can do the nose ring, just like the troll. I think I like none. And then you can do the tusks. So right now his tusks are broken. Iron band, gold root, or natural. I really like the broken tusk. I really like that they added this in for pre-patch because that's cool. All right, so then you can change the tattoos. So this is immortality, brutality, or ferocity, or none. I like ferocity and brutality. Okay, brutality has it on the face, so. And then you can do the war paint, which I actually really don't like with the tattoos. And then you can have it be upright or like the normal orcs. I actually like them bent, just like the old orcs. So there's our orc. That's cool. I like all of the differences for this. Okay. So undead, which again is just a lot more texturized. We can change the skin tone. I like my purple undead. So now this is new. You can do the skin type. So it can be bony or mottled or fresh. That's so weird. I don't know. Like for me, for undead, I just feel like they should look as emaciated and gross as possible. So the fact that you can have it be fresh now is very weird to me. But it almost looks more. It looks less Scourge and more Forsaken, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're gonna go. See, this is like the original. The bony. Mottled is cool too. Fresh is so weird. Okay, we're gonna go mottled. And then you can change the faces, which is more texturized. And the big thing now is that you can, the jaw feature is separate from the face feature. So the jaw feature and the face feature used to be the same. Same for male and female. But now you can choose a face and you can choose the different jaw. So, let's see. That's weird. That's scary. I like that one. Okay. So now we'll do the jaw next, and then we'll choose the hair. So this used to be all one, like I said. Unhinged, cheeky, loose, toothy, jawstone, bone-jawed, slack-jawed. Oh! He's missing the bottom part of his jaw. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, I'm gonna do this because that looks cool. All right. We can choose the hairstyle. I just wish the hairstyles were more textured because the actual its body is so much more textured and detailed that having the hair like that just makes it look so out of place. But we'll try to make it look as good as we can. That's cool. The ghoul hair, especially because it's where its jaw should be. Creeper is cool too. See, I like the demon one, except it kind of takes away from having his tongue out. So I'm gonna go with the creeper. All right, hair color. Oh my gosh, their hair can be pink. Okay. I like the black. And then these face features used to also just be only with face. So the amount of texture, the jaw, and the face features all used to be one. Now they're all separate, which is really cool. I'm going to leave it like this because that's cool. And you can change the eye color as well. I like that. And so, yeah. We have our undead. They added so much. All right, so now Tauren. So for the Tauren, you could always change the skin color, but now the face, the horns, and the facial hair are all different. So for a Tauren, it used to be that you could change the face, but the face and the facial hair would go together. So we can do our skin color. And we can change our face. Our horn style. Oh, I like that. And you can change the horn color. And you can change, so it used to just be that you could change your hair and then your beard would go with your face, but now you can change the fore part of your mane and you can change the back part, so it's almost like bangs. How does that help? It's over his eyes. That's cool. And we can change the hair. Neat. And apparently you can change the headdress on the Tauren now, which is pretty cool. But I think the headdress is ugly. And the Tauren have body paint as well, which is very weird. I don't know if I like that either. Alright, so there's our Tauren. And Blood Elves also have skin color, face, hair color, facial hair, ears. You can change the ears now. I forgot about that. You can have them be long, medium, or short. They don't have as many options as everything else, though. You can change the skin color. You can change the face, but you could always change that. You can change your hairstyle. And it looks a little bit more textured. Wow, a bald Blood Elf looks scary. I like this. I like the ponytail. And then you can change the facial hair, which looks really weird. And the eye color. So you don't have as many choices with that. And then the pandas are pretty much still the same. The goblins essentially have a lot of the extra stuff that the orcs and trolls have, just not as much. In humans, they added more hairstyles and beards, same that they did with dwarves. Dwarves now have face paint. Night elves are a bit different. So night elves have all of these things just like the trolls. I mean, trolls essentially are elves. No, elves are trolls. Yeah. The night elves were the trolls. And you can have leaves in your hair? That's cool. And you can change the color of the vine that's in your hair. That's cool. That's a neat little addition. And you can change your scars. You never used to be able to do that. You can change your eyebrows. Oh, the eyebrows and the hair used to go together and it used to irritate me so much, but now there's just the eyebrows that you can change. That's cool. That's cool. But that one looks really weird. And you can add a blindfold now. Since people really like that, the only thing that you used to be able to add that onto was a demon hunter. So you can have a blindfold or not. But with the demon hunter, you can change the blindfold if you decide to choose that as your class. And you can turn the vines on and off, which is kind of cool. Neat. And then you can have tattoos, which you could only have tattoos if you were a demon hunter. So there aren't as many options, but it's still cool. And you can have sideburns, mustache, or a beard. Neat. Worgen's cool. I wonder what we can change with Worgen. Not much. You can change your human side, which has a bit extra. Skin color, face, hairstyle, mustache, beard, sideburns, and face shape. Neat. And then you can do your eyebrows or eye colored, untamed, angled, straight. Oh, that's cool. But the Worgen is pretty much the same. Let's check out the gnomes. Oh, gnomes look really different. So they don't have as many things, but you can change their skin color, which is cool. Their faces, which you could always do, mustache, beard, eyebrows, and eye color are all different as well. You can change your eyebrows. That's neat. That used to only go with face. And then you can do earrings or nose ring, and then you can do tattoos here too. Neat. I like that. That's all really cool. And the humans, dude, they look so much better than they used to now that they're textured, especially the males. Like, humans used to be my least favorite because the females, like, had these really weird big thighs and they ran kind of weird. But the males look really good. Neat. It's like when they upped Anduin, they upped all of these guys too. Cool. You can do the hairstyle, the hair color, mustache, beard, sideburns, and face shape for these too. Wide, narrow, and then you can do the eyebrows and the eye color. Cool. A lot of differences. There are a lot of differences. They're definitely, this is a step in the right direction. I know a lot of people are upset right now, and the animations that they do are cool. Obviously, there are a lot of differences, though. Like in 14, you could do small clothes, and it's not necessarily where the race is from that's in the background. You can change the background. Obviously, there's a lot more options in 14. And until you actually create your character and choose your class and get into the game, um, you don't know the story. And one of the things that I actually really like, especially for an RPG, is to have the history of everything. I'm a really big lore nerd. So the fact that 14 has the story behind every single race written for you there, that's neat. And every single job and tells you what the job does is neat as well and where it starts. Those are the differences and the changes between FF14 character creation and World of Warcraft pre patch Shadowlands creation. If you like the content, make sure to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Xandri. And if you would like to support the content in a different way, you can also become a patron. And the link to my Patreon will be posted in the description and is also on my YouTube page. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.